Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a very easy and delicious barbecue pulled pork and 2 ways to serve it. So to begin with, you just want to clean your pork. I like to use pork tenderloin for this recipe, which I know most people don't use this cut for pulled pork. They tend to use a fattier cut. But I prefer to do the pork tenderloin because it ends up being extremely tender, and then you don't have all those chunks of fat in the final dish. What I'm doing here is removing the silver skin that's on the tenderloin. So if you are using this cut, you do want to do this step. It's called silver skin because you'll see it has that kind of silvery metallic look to it. So all you need to do is take your knife and get it underneath the silver skin and try to stay as close to the top as possible, so that way you're not cutting away too much of the meat and you just slice that part off. The reason that you want to remove this is because it is very tough and sinewy, so you don't want to have that in your pulled pork at the end. Once you're done cleaning the pork, you're just going to put it into your crock pot, and then you're going to cover it with Dr. Pepper. Yes, you heard that right, Dr. Pepper. And that is all you're going to put into this. No salt, no pepper, you don't need anything at all. The Dr. Pepper does something magical to the pork. It helps break it down, it makes it very, very tender, and it gives it a great flavor. So now all you're going to do is put the lid on your crock pot, and you're going to set it for either low for about 8 hours or high for 4. I'm putting mine on high because I needed it sooner in the day, and then you're just going to leave it to do its magic. So after about 4 hours, I am going to check on the pork just to see if it's done cooking. You'll know when it's ready when it starts to just fall apart. So I just take my tongs and a fork, and once you see that meat is just pulling apart super easily like it is right here, you know that it's done. I do like to reserve a little bit of the cooking liquid before I drain it. I like to drain the sauce off before shredding and adding my barbecue sauce because it makes it a lot easier. So I went ahead and drained it, and now I'm going to shred the meat apart. And then after that, all you need to do is take your favorite barbecue sauce and add it on top. So the sauce that I'm going to use is the Sweet Baby Ray's Honey Barbecue because it's my husband's favorite. And then I did end up adding a little bit of the reserved cooking liquid because I was going to be keeping this in the crock pot on the keep warm function, and that just helps to keep it from drying out without having to add too much barbecue sauce, if that makes sense. So I like to keep that on hand just in case. Sometimes if we're serving it right away, I won't even need any of that cooking liquid, but it's always a good idea to keep it just in case you want to add it to your pork. And here's the pork all finished. The first way that I'm going to serve it is as a sandwich. This is a great weeknight meal or for a family get-together. So the next way to use the pulled pork is to make a pulled pork puff pastry. So to begin with, you're going to take a sheet of puff pastry, thawed, and you're going to cut it into 9 squares. It's really nice because the way that it's folded allows it to be cut into thirds easily, and then you're just going to cut it into thirds a second time to get your 9 squares. So next up, you're going to take 1 square and you're going to put some of your pulled pork down the center, and then you're going to add some cheddar cheese on top, and then you're going to fold up each side and pinch to close. Now this is my first time making this recipe, And I wish I would have known that you really need to pinch it shut, because as you can see in the picture, mine came apart a little bit. So when you're closing it, make sure that you pinch it, you know, pretty tightly. Once you have those ready, you're going to make an egg wash. So you're going to add 1 egg into a bowl and then a little bit of water and then stir to combine. You want to line your baking sheet with a sheet of parchment paper and then lay out your rolls. You're going to then brush the top with the egg wash that you made before placing into a 400-degree oven for 15 to 18 minutes. Then once they are golden brown, you'll take them out. As you can see here, like I was saying, I didn't pinch them closed tight enough, so they opened up a little bit. But these were absolutely delicious and would make a great appetizer for a game day or if you have company coming over.